Before homecoming. It's been raining this morning, so all of us look lovely. What I'm going to do right now is go through our seeding rate calculations to try to make sure that we're good on that, and then I'll also make a video for our fertilizer calculations. So for our seeding rate, what we want to first check is to make sure that we have our germination, and we also want to make sure that we have our purity, because both of these values we're going to use to calculate percent pure live seed. So in order to calculate that, we need both our germination percentage and our purity percentage to get those values. So we're going to look at a problem to where our germination percentage, I'll just read it through. This is number 4 on the one that we did in class. So a producer has 1,000 acres. They also have a final population that they want of 500,000 plants per acre. Then what we need to decide is how many bushels of wheat they need to buy. So our question is how many bushels of wheat do they need to buy for that 1,000 acres. Okay, so that's what our goal is. See how many bushels. So information that we have is our area, our plants per acre. We also know that we've got 14,500 seeds per pound. Our purity is 99.5% purity, and our germination percentage is 98% for germination. So our first step is we're going to take this purity and germination in order to get our pure live seed. So step 1, switch over to green. Step 1, we have pure live seed that we're trying to calculate, and that is equal to our germination times our purity. So we've got our germination is going to be 0.98 times purity, which is 0.995. So when we actually go through that and calculate that, we've got our 0.98 times 0.995. You get 0.9751. So this is going to be our pure live seed. We need this value in order to calculate our next step, which is going to be step 2, and this is our seeds per acre, or SPA, because this value here is telling us how many plants per acre we want, but that's how many we actually want to germinate and come up out of the ground. So we need to know how many seeds to plant in the ground in order to get that plants per acre value. And since we don't have 100% purity, we don't have 100% germination, we're going to need more seeds to get this amount of plants per acre. So for our SPA, we take the value we're given of our 500,000 plants per acre. And we're going to set this up in this conversion factor way where then we're looking at for every one seed that we put into the ground, 0.98 plants will actually emerge. Because general rule of thumb, we're going to round to 2 decimal places. So that makes this value 0.98 because the 5 causes this to round up. So remember, when we're working with these conversion factors, we're going to multiply all the numbers across and then divide by all the numbers at the bottom. So since if we do that, we've got 500,000 times 1, and then we're going to divide that by 1, which does nothing, and then divide it by 0.98. So this value is now our seeds per acre is 510,204.0816. So we're going to stop here with 2 decimal places. We don't round because that is 1 right next to the 8. So this is our seeds per acre that we'll now use to figure out how many bushels we're actually going to buy of our wheat. So for step 3 here, we're going to set up that long conversion equation to go through all of this. So for this first part, we're going to always start with our area of size. For this one, we've got 1,000 acres. And switch to a blue. So our field is 1,000 acres. Our next value, because when we set this up, you're not going to have this conversion sheet and the cheat sheet that's on D2L for the exam. But what we can do is we're going to set this up and know where these values are on here. So we've got our 1,000 acres per field. Right here, we're then going to have the next thing that we have that's acres, which if we cross these units out, that's my fault. Sorry, ignore this. This is going to be seeds per acre. So we're going to put our 1 acre down here, and our seeds is going to be 510,000, sorry, 204.08, and that's our number of seeds in this 1 acre. Okay, so when we're to this point, we now need something at the bottom that has seeds in its unit in order for these seed units to cancel each other out. So the one that we have is this 14,000 seeds per pound. So we're going to do 14,500 seeds per every 1 pound. And then the last thing that we need to know is how many bushels. So for wheat, 1 bushel of wheat equals 60 pounds. So we've got our 1 bushel equal to 60 pounds. And so now everything is in our equation. So let's go ahead and go cancel out some units to see what that's going to look like at the end. We're going to cancel out our acres, cancel out our seeds, and then we'll also cancel out pounds. So what we're going to be left with is okay. Figure out how to undo what I just did. Okay, so we're going to be left with bushels per field. So if I go through all of that math, remember we're multiplying everything at the top, so it's going to be 1,000 times 510,204.08 times 1 times 1. Then I'm going to divide by everything on the bottom. So divide by 1 field, divide by 1 acre, divide by 14,500 seeds, and then divide that by 60 pounds. And so you should get 586.44, and that's going to be bushels per field. So this is the amount of seed that this producer needs to buy in order to plant that 1,000 acres. So that is an entire seeding rate calculation going through with your purity, your germination up here, then calculating your seeds per acre, and then calculating how much that final bushels per field is that they're purchasing. So I'm going to stop this one here, and then I'm going to go through another one so you can watch these independently. The next one we're going to go through, calculate germination, then calculate our pure live seed based on that purity and germination, and then make it through the rest of that equation. So if you want to watch another one, then you can watch the next one.